What's up, everybody? I'm former quarterback Malik Rosier, and if football, sports interviews, and having a good time interests you, then make sure to click the like and subscribe button as it really does help support this channel, and it also makes sure that you guys never miss a new video. How's everyone doing? And welcome back to another episode of the Malik Rosier Show. Super excited to be here. I know a lot of Canes fans are excited, especially after the W versus Texas A&M, a very, very talented team, a team that I know since last year. I've definitely been looking forward to this game. Some of it's because obviously the revenge. Other parts is obviously, my old coach like James Coley is there. I had guys like, Rayshon Scott that was there last year as well. So obviously a little bit of rivalry between guys that I played with or coached me, and obviously their connection to Texas A&M. So the first thing that I really, really want to go into is what a lot of people are talking about. Is Miami back? I'm going to keep the answer short and sweet. No, we're not. But the big thing I will say is that no one will want to play us twice. To me, that is a huge, huge improvement from last year. I feel like last year, to be honest with you guys, there were some points and even some games where like we were a laughing stock. Like people just kind of like, well, what's going on with you guys? Why do you guys look so bad? You guys can't even compete versus X, Y, and Z team. So I don't think we have to worry about this year. You're seeing a lot of the, intensity, the mindset of Mario really pouring into these guys. One thing that I will say though is that this team isn't perfect. I mean, we saw him play in the first quarter. We had the block punt, we had the muff punt, we had over 100 something yards in penalties, and we still won. And we still almost put up 50. So the biggest thing that I want to say about this team is that their ability to push through, their ability to, not check themselves out. That's what a lot of teams do. You have a couple early game mistakes and then you wind up checking out and you're never able to mentally get back in the game. And so I'm super happy that the mental fortitude of this team is very, very high. I think that there will be a couple games this year, like the Clemson, like the Louisville, UNC, and Florida State. All those teams, they're gonna be able to score. They're gonna be able to move the ball. They're gonna have some talent. They're gonna make plays of their own. And can we say, hey, just because they made a play doesn't mean we're not gonna make another three, or another four, or another five. And so that's the biggest thing that I really, really love to see out of this team. And I was very interested to see kind of when that adversity would strike. And it struck early, and it gave them the lead. They were up 14-7, or really pretty sure it was 17-7 at one point. So I really like the fact that we were able to mentally just kind of get past the mistakes, saying, hey, we're fine, guys. It's a long game. And even we got to remember, they're getting, 2 to 3 less drives a game. So if you tell me the coaches aren't on them about, scoring, making sure that every drive counts, and you got a lot of stuff messed up. So next, we're going to go into the good and the bad. So first, I'm going to go over the bad. We can't have slow starts. Kind of like what I said, with the new change of the clock and the fact that when people run out of bounds, you're going to get, 2 or 3 less drives per game just because there's going to be a ton of time that runs out in between, the stick setting or the ref grabbing the ball or chirping on the sideline, things like that. So, we can't have a slow start. We can't go down 17-7 or 10-0. When you're playing a Florida State or North Carolina. Next, I was talking about earlier, too many penalties. Penalties happen. I would say that Texas A&M, there was a ton by them that did not get called. And so again, at the end of the day, penalties happen. I know that especially up front of the offensive line, those guys weren't trying to hold. They're just trying to do their best. Texas A&M is probably one of the most athletic defensive linemen or defensive lines, period. That will play. So super glad that we were able to protect Tyler. Obviously, we had to cut down on the penalties. But I think at the end of the day, that's something that, these offensive linemen and just the team in general is going to be accountable for, saying, hey, do your job without getting penalties. And last, we saw it, but can't have special teams turnovers. Again, Brashard Smith kind of saved us by having that kickoff return for a touchdown. Special teams is big. It's one thing that I would say at least Mark Richt actually took just as much, maybe more time with special teams than he did offense and defense, because he understood, hey, if my defense is playing well, but we're always given a great field position because we can't play special teams, can't win, and to me, that's a really, really big SEC trait. Like I remember, me and Brad Kai used to make fun of Alabama and LSU because back in the day, their scores used to be like 9-12 or 12-15. Just some like ridiculously low score where it's all field goals, no touchdowns, straight defense. But a lot of that came to field position. Those guys had punters. They'd pin you down inside the 10. They'd make you go versus all these All-Americans. Not only you got to go 40, 50 yards, you're going 90. 95, 80, 85. You're driving the entire field. So, hopefully we can clean a lot of that up. I think that's something that if we can utilize special teams, especially with the speed that we have, we can be effective. And for all the Miami fans that, remember this guy, especially for a lot of the older ones, Devin Hester, how electric was he on special teams? How many games did he just like low key, like kind of pull us away from because he was able to take back a punt or he was able to take back a kickoff or things like that. So special teams has to clean up. Obviously it's week 2, so we got a long ways to go. We got a lot of things to clean up. But the good news is the adversity part, the fact that we're able to mentally overcome these mistakes is something that is really, really big. So now we're going to go into the good. And I love this. Again, you can see it. Number 1, the Great Wall of Mirabal. That offensive line, Tyler, they need lobsters. They need steaks. Like whatever you got to do it. Those guys up front, man, they look great. That is just a testament to Mario and Coach Mirabal and what they're producing. And also, I'll say this too, man. It's refreshing to see that we can do either one. If we have to run the ball for 200 or 300 yards, we can. Well, obviously not 300, but if we have to run the ball for 200 yards, we can. Or if we got to pass it for 350 plus and throw for 5 touchdowns, then we got that too. So we will take a quick break and thank our sponsors, DGen Sports. DGen Sports is an exciting NFT project that combines real-world sports and NFT culture. Behind an experienced leadership team, the project just launched their 3rd season and offers free-to-play sports prediction prizes every month. They gave away a $250 NFT for the Masters alone. Follow them for we will take a quick break to thank our sponsors, DGen Sports. DGen Sports is an exciting NFT project that combines real-world sports and NFT culture. Behind an experienced leadership team, the project just launched their 3rd season and offers free-to-play sports prediction prizes every month. They gave away a $250 NFT for the Masters alone. Follow them on Twitter at DGenSportsIO. Obviously, a lot of this starts up front with the guys up front. You can't start run game. You can't even pass the ball if the guys up front cannot protect you. So great job by them. To me, the entire starting 5 was the MVP of the game. Obviously TVD had 5 touchdowns, but if he doesn't have time, I'm going to show you guys some of this. So if he doesn't have time, I don't think some of the passes get off. Next, overcoming adversity. Again, we talked about it. They had adversity. They were down. They were able to overcome. We obviously didn't play perfect football, but the fact that we were able to overcome our adversity that we self-inflicted was very, very big. Next, intensity all game, man. I don't know if you saw the defense, but to me, the guy that I'm slowly really liking a lot is James Williams. Again, he had a ton of talent coming out of high school. The biggest thing about James is his closing speed, man. When you watch him, he's closing so fast. Like guys are catching and get hit. And the last couple of years, it was catch it, get hit, and then bounce off. Now it's catch it, get hit, and the tackle is secured. Not only that, you're seeing multiple guys around the team. My dog Dallas Crawford actually showed a clip of James Williams, and I can't remember the other defense back. I think it was Porter Jr. They come flying down to make the tackle. That's what everyone's talking about. Oh, look at James and Porter. But he pointed out, look at the defensive lineman, look at LT, look at the big guys up front. As soon as that ball is out his hands, they're redirecting. They're running to the football. They're trying to find the football. They're trying to be an extra hat in the pile. So to me, the intensity that we played with the entire game was huge. And it's something that when you watch that film, if you're not telling me that the other team's not looking at that, you didn't play football before. So I'm glad that we played a very intensive game, not only on the offense, but especially on the defensive side, because a lot of it with defense is intensity. And so I'm glad to see them flying around the ball. And lastly, listen, Mario. I don't know what we got to do, but those 2 coordinators can't leave. We finally got some good coordinators, man. Whenever I saw that first touchdown to Kobe Young, and we're going to play it in a second, I literally tweeted, we have good coordinators. That's one thing that really helps you, man. When you have a very good athletic team, especially when you're playing a good athletic team, like Texas A&M is a good team. They got athletes. They got 5 stars all over the field. Now, when you play 2 evenly matched teams, you know what separates it? One is mistakes, but nextly is coaching. How do you game plan? How do you scheme them? Things like that really, really come to play. When you're just better than the team, you call whatever you want. Whenever you're playing the A&M, the UNCs, the Florida States, the Louisvilles, the Alabamas, teams like that, you got to have a coordinator that can scheme, because otherwise it doesn't matter. You're going to be done the entire game. So we have coordinators. I'm not saying bring a Brinks truck, but I'm saying if we had to bring a mini Brinks truck, we got to do what we got to do, because these guys are amazing. So obviously, again, it's early, but you can see a lot of the change in year one, offense, defense. And so I really think that hopefully we can keep these guys around for at least 3 to 4 years. But I think it's going to be very, very hard, especially if Miami has a good 2 years put together. But we'll see, man. But super glad that Mars was able to find these coordinators, because I think these guys are definitely going to help us, turn the page. So now we're about to go into the Miami game. Okay, so hear me out when we talk about a little bit of football while we do this. Okay, so do you see the slot guys? So you see Xavier, and I don't really know who that is. That could be Rashard, or it could be Jacoby George. I don't know who's beside him, but you see him on the right side hash. This is called a stack. This is actually a double stack. The big thing that you see about stack for people that kind of know football is that when this lower guy is stacked, so let's say this guy's over here, even if he's stacked over him, this is called a capped look. This is a blitz. So great job by Tyler recognizing the blitz. What I do really, really like about this is we're going to see this. One, he's staying in there. That's a good job. I know plenty of quarterbacks that run, but look, the ball is out of his hands, out. It's coming out. That's the back of his head. Now, I don't know in film, maybe they say, hey, Tyler, next time throw this guy. But at the end of the day, like for me, like there's a lot of times I threw it to Braxton and there was other guys that were open. So you got to find the guy you trust. Obviously, this is a drop that, Xavier doesn't want. But what I love is the ball is out and he is turning around catching. What this really, really does is, one, this shows you confidence. It shows you trust, not only in the receiver with Xavier, but also the offensive line, because you got to trust me, go 1, 2, 3, hitch, ball out. So I really, really like this play. Obviously, the catch didn't happen, but we know Xavier had a really good game and he let that go. So I was just more proud of Tyler, really, really throwing it whenever he had to. Okay, here, really big play. We're going to go over it, okay? And I know a lot of people don't really understand why this play right here is big, but these guys right here, all the defensive linemen, the guys that were the 5 stars, the guys that, everyone was so worried about that was just going to create havoc. When you get them son of a guns running left and right and they're tired and it just rained for like 30 minutes multiple times and it's 90-something degrees and they're literally breathing in water, they ain't going to be rushing so hard. And we're used to it. We play down here. We live down here. Obviously, there's some guys that are from Miami, but if you're not, Texas does have heat. They're getting to 100, but it's a dry heat. It is a very different type of heat. And when you add our actual rain the day of the game to this, it makes a huge, huge difference. So super glad that we ran a ton of screens. They were very, very small, but, whenever you're trying to slow down an elite pass rush, the screen game really does it because it gets those big guys running. We're going to watch them every time they throw a screen. It's the only guys I want you to watch. Screen. Now look, they're there. So they ran 4 yards up. They have to run 4 yards back. Now they're still running. And they're still running. And that's what you want. You want to get them running down the field, okay? That's really, really what you want, especially when guys that have high motors like their guys do, they're going to chase the ball, but you want to get them tired fast. So then when you get them tired, okay, so they just ran 14 yards. So they ran 4 yards forward, had to run another 4 back to the line, and they're 10 to the ball. Now, look, they're not even up. We're almost set. He's up, he's up, he's up. They're communicating. They're trying to figure out what they're doing. See, he's messing up now because he was in bad communication because we went fast. He's barely dropping. The ball snapped. He's at third step. He's 10 yards from the ball, which he shouldn't be, and especially they're doing a cover 3, which looks like a zone cover 3 look. You know what I mean? So I really like the game plan of saying, hey, we're going to go quick game lateral, screens, bubbles, things to get the ball out of his hands. When we get these guys tired from running sideline to sideline, we're going to go vertical. Now, here it is. Here's a play I talked about earlier. This was a play that I literally tweeted out. We finally have an OC. A ton of guys would try to just run this ball. A ton of people, and I bet you it's kind of like an RPO read. We're saying, hey, if they got stacked in the box, something like this, where it's like everyone's loaded. If they go to a 2-high shell, kind of what we call red 7, where it's more like a quarters kind of look, you run it. Right here looks like 0 all the way. The good news is we have huge, massive offensive linemen up front. They're massive. So when these guys go to stand up to block him, and these guys go to stand up to try to tackle a running back, this guy gets lost. And it's just nearly because of the thighs of the people, but you'll see it. He's there. He's lost. They don't know where he's at. They're looking here. 7's probably the only one that can really see him. But these guys, you can't see through that. just a big body of just a big blob of mush like that. That's great. I love it. They're gonna push that pile. And I think we even score even if he gets it. I don't think this guy makes a tackle. Maybe he does. Side tackle. I mean, I take Mark Fletcher with a side tackle. But you got a guy that literally can walk in the end zone because of the game plan. And so I really loved it. You know, I was hoping that we would have done something like this, something quick, just get the ball out. Now, this is what I talked about a lot with Tyler, his ability to escape the pocket. Again, this is extending plays. I don't expect TVD to be, you know, Lamar Jackson or anything like that, but I do expect him to extend plays and get the ball to his receivers as he can move. And we're going to see it here. He gets away. He flicks it down. I love it. The guy's wide open. Keep running. Keep running. Get the first. It's huge. And great job by him, too. Like, I kind of want to go back to that. But to me, that's a tone setter hit. That is a get off of me. You're too little. And move out my way. Right here. Move. Get off me. Like if that's me, that's what I'm running back. Like, I'm hitting them, but you too little. Don't come over here no more. So, like, I'm glad we're playing with that mindset. And here, just look at this. Look at this. Nothing. Now, I want you guys to know that that's our tight end. Man, that's our running back. I didn't even realize that when I went back and watched. So we're gonna watch this. Who's blocking him? That's our tight end and running back blocking one of their starting defensive ends. I love it. That's trust. And when you get trust and you have guys that can block, you get a whole bunch of touchdowns. So I really love the offensive line play. Again, here's another one. Oh, this one was a great arm angle. So this is a screen. Okay, again, what I said, every time I'm on a screen, I want you to watch these guys. These guys are flying upfield. They're a little pissed off. They're trying to get to Tyler. Great job. Okay, so they started here. They had to sprint 5. Let's watch them. Another 5, so that's 10 yards. Another 5, that's 15 yards. Another 5, that's 20, 25, 30, 33 yards. 5, and another 23 yards. So that's why you run screens versus these type of teams. You got to get those big boys running because they run and he's like, man, it's tackle. Okay, the next play, what does he do? Is he tired? Does he get out? But I love the arm angle by TBD. But what I love is this. Get them running. They are too athletic to not throw screens, to not let our guys get open field and just run. And I love the big guys downfield, Matt Lee and them blocking. Get here. Great Wall of China. This guy's kind of close, but he's covered. There's no white. It's orange. What Tyler sees is orange. Tyler looked right at this, he would see orange. There's no white, and I love it. Great job. Look at this. He don't want nothing. They're getting bodied over here. This guy doesn't even know who to block. He's like, is this guy going to come? Because I don't really know who to block. And now what I like about this too is his fact that he's fighting. But again, that play right there was more about the offensive line and just their ability to block, man. They just looked so good. Watch this. Play action. Okay, so here, probably the one time that we had some couple guys fall. So that's why they got through. And it happens, man. These guys are great players. This is probably the only play that I would say Tyler just throw it away. Throw it away. Throw it away. Literally put it in your left hand and flick it. It has to go past the line of scrimmage. So that one's a little harder. Okay, I will. This one might be a little harder. But, I mean, try to find a way to get out because what I would hate is if he landed on his shoulder. If for some reason he landed on his shoulder or something happened or this – I'm gonna call him fat because he's not fat, but one of these bigger guys, you know, the 650s, not 650s. You know, when you have one of these bigger guys over here that rolls up on you or lands on you, it can hurt. So that'd be my biggest thing to Tyler is just if you can get away, because the last thing that you would want, you know, is this guy right there. Okay, let's say he gets on more of his back and then all his weight. So instead of being on his hip, it's more over here on his shoulder or something. Okay, that's the only thing that would really worry me about that hit. But obviously Tyler's tough and I think he can take the hits, but the less hits, the better. Again, another visual. I mean, this guy's here. So there's 1, 2. I mean, there's 3 yards of separation between the quarterback and the lineman. Great ball, great catch. What I really, really love, and this is the KB coming out. Watch him. Okay, so he's throwing it. Good. I love it. Now he's back there. So he's 1, 2, 3, 4 yards from the yellow line. And he catches almost at the line, which means they're attacking the football. If you want to catch the football, you got to attack the football. And I'm glad to see guys like Kobe Young and them are attacking the football. They're coming downhill, they're getting out of their break, and they're not letting their feet get cold. And so to me, that's been a huge part of the difference is getting these guys out of their break and coming back to the ball. So great job by him. Great job by breaking the tackles. Kid's big. And I mean, if I'm him, I'm lowering the shoulder on 20 because this kid did not want nothing of Kobe Young. So we'll see. Great ball right here. I really loved it. This is trust. This is his, I'm throwing it to my best friend kind of throw. Like, let me just stick it on top of your head, bud. But great catch by him. I know Xavier obviously had the drop in the beginning, but he did a great job of coming back, man. So super glad. Here we had obviously a little bit of miscommunication. We know the clock went down low. To me, I think this is something that they can fix, but here again, extending plays, nothing's there. Great job by Jacoby George coming back to the ball, making a play. But again, TVD, extending plays, getting out of the pocket. That's what he has to do all year. There's going to be times where our pocket looks great. There's going to be times where they get us with a twist or a stun or someone falls or something happens, and he has to make these type of plays. Again, we talked about it, scoring in the red zone. Don't get in the red zone. Don't get close to that red zone and not score. We did a great job of when we got into the red zone, putting up points and really because we were able to put up points on them. So I was super, super pleased by what I saw. Again, a lot of it to me came from obviously our ability to score, but really the way the offensive line played, the way the receivers plays, TVD's ability to trust his guys, put the ball on the money. Again, Texas A&M was talking about their quarterback hasn't thrown an interception. Welcome to South Florida. That's all I'm going to say about that. But we would take a quick break to thank our sponsors, DGen Sports. DGen Sports is an exciting NFT project that combines real-world sports and NFT culture. Behind an experienced leadership team, the project just launched their third season and offers free-to-play sports prediction prizes every month. They gave away a $250 NFT for the Masters alone. Follow them on Twitter at DGenSportsIO. Now we're going to talk about, is Texas back? I'm from Alabama, so I'm not going to say I'm a Roll Tide guy. I'm more of an Auburn fan, my grandfather played for Paul Bear Bryant, so I do have a lot of respect for Alabama. He's telling me stories about how they didn't get water and how how basically soft I am, because there was one practice where I was pissed because I was like, man, we got 2 water breaks. I'm out there in the sun dying. I can't even taste water. I'm out. He was like, Malik, back in my days when I used to play, he said, we had 1 water cooler, we had 1 break, and you were lucky to get water if you made it. And so I do have a lot of respect for Alabama because, I always hear the great stories about Paul Bear Bryant and, what he did there. So I will say about Texas, I think they're back to a degree. And the main reason why I say it is because you're going to see a lot of teams now, especially that have a ton of good starters. And if you don't develop your second string guys, it's going to be very hard. So I do think they have the talent level to win. I don't know if they'll win the whole national championship, but I do think to a sense like this Texas team can be very, very dangerous. To me, keys to win is going to be they have the talent and they have the confidence to win, but can they stay healthy and can they win consistently? Because what happens is people start becoming complacent. I mean, you heard Georgia after they won a natty. Don't be complacent. Get your mindset. It's a long season. They still got some good games. You still got Oklahoma. They still got Texas Tech. There's still some games on that schedule that if they just kind of overlook or say, oh, we beat Bama, now we're back, you're going to root for awakening. So I really like Texas. I like Quint Ewers. I like the way they played. I think that this team has a chance to be a very, very good team and really shake up some of the teams in college football. But to me, again, the top 2 is keeping your guys healthy. You got to keep them healthy to compete. And then secondly, stay consistent. Don't get complacent. Don't let that Bama win, let you lose focus of everything else. So I definitely like what Texas has going on. I think they could be a very, very interesting team that, kind of shakes up college football for this year. And the last thing that we're going to go over before I get out of here is the 3 picks of the week. So we got Tennessee at Florida. I mean, I got to go with Tennessee. Got some Florida fans in the building, but, I just can't do it. Really can't. So I take Tennessee. I take Joe Milton. I at least have them by 10, maybe 14. I think it's going to be kind of hard because the Swamp is loud. I do give them that. The fan base, the way that they pack that Swamp out, that ridiculous every SEC game. So I think they will make it very hard for Tennessee, but I'm very interested in the second half, really like the second quarter, mid to late second quarter, if Tennessee can pull away. Pitt, West Virginia. I don't know. I'm gonna go West Virginia, and that it's not really because I don't like Pitt. Um, I just like Pat McVay. So he's West Virginia guy. I'm going to go West Virginia. I'm going to give his team the kind of the hat. I think that they beat them in a one score to a 3 point game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout, but I think it'll be a hard fought kind of rivalry game where it's kind of a slugfest. So, I can see the score being 24-21. I can see it being 20-21. I think it'll be a very, very interesting game, but I definitely think it's going to be highly, highly competitive. And last, Arkansas, BYU. Going with Arkansas, go Razorbacks. I really, really, really like their quarterback, KJ Jefferson. I think he's big. I think he's smart. I think he understands football. I think he's just going to be a little too much for BYU to contain. That not even with the passing, because he's going to pass it all over him. But I really think even in the run game, I think he's going to have at least 50 to 60 yards rushing, probably a rushing touchdown or two, especially going in the red zone. They're definitely going to be able to run the ball. We know the way that, Coach Pittman loves that downhill run mindset. So, and let me know which teams you guys think are going to win. I'm super interested to see if you guys agree with me. And if you don't agree with me, obviously I would do the Miami, but we played with their Cookman. If we don't win that one, then everyone needs to get fired. I don't come to another game this year, so I'm not going to put Miami on here. But let me know which games you think, or which teams you let me know which teams you think are going to win. I'm very interested to see what you guys think. So I really appreciate you guys for being in for another episode. I know it's been about a week or so. Thank you guys for being patient. There's a lot of stuff moving and changing, especially with me now traveling down to Miami. But we will be here every week, especially now that I've kind of figured out the schedule. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Please like, subscribe, and share. It is free, and it really, really does help me a lot of ways. Also, if you guys are down in South Florida or even in Central Florida, WQAM, I do the post game and pre-game for the Miami Hurricanes. So if you guys want to hear more of me, tune into WQAM. Thank you guys and have a great rest of your day.